Good morning, and welcome to week 4 of Global Management. I've chosen this sunny and shadowy corner of my office to display some of my cultural artifacts because the theme for this week, marketing and cultural challenges. So, we've already been talking about culture quite a lot, not surprisingly, right? I mean, that permeates nearly every aspect of global business. But the way that we've been looking at it so far is more from a macro point of view, right? You've done your Hofstede analysis. That's really geared toward trying to compare different countries and sort of the broader cultural assumptions that lie in there. So you can kind of figure out where is it that you might want to go do business? Where is it most like the United States? Let's do some comparing, right? And that's great. But this week we're going to be approaching things from a much more micro standpoint. That is, we're going to look at beliefs, we're going to look at preferences, behaviors, and things like that. And it's those sorts of attitudes that are going to more strongly inform the way that you approach your human resources plan, which is coming up soon, but also your work on the marketing plan here this week. Because the way people behave strongly affects the way that they want to do business or the way that they want to perceive products, right? In the case of HR, you're dealing with what are people's attitudes and beliefs and behaviors, and do we need to adapt our behavioral practices in certain ways because those are the people who are working for us, versus stuff that's more on the consumer side where it's like, is this product actually going to resonate with my people? But that doesn't even really begin to start talking about the questions that are specific to marketing, right? You are going to learn a lot about marketing this week. You're going to be writing a lot about marketing this week. And the section of Global Business Plan that focuses on marketing, for a lot of people, is one of the hardest parts to tackle. And you wouldn't think that's the case because most of the time people are thinking about marketing in terms of promotion. They're like, okay, well, what kinds of cool commercials or cool web advertisements or cool campaigns can I come up with to creatively entice people? And that's sort of the fun side of what happens with marketing. But remember, as Jim Cox says, he's one of our professors here who teaches marketing at the University of St. Mary and a long-term marketing expert who's made thousands of commercials. He basically says marketing is everything that touches the consumer. And if you think about it like that, it's a lot bigger than just putting together commercials. Consider the 4 P's, right? Product, place, price, promotion. A lot of times people aren't thinking about the product so much. Do I put my product in a square box or a round container? And does that really matter? What's the appropriate price point given my demographics? I think about place, like where is it that I should put my company? I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, I want to put it in Brazil, but what city do I want to put it in? What neighborhood is appropriate? Like if I'm doing industrial work, that's a lot different than if I'm doing a consumer-faced kind of business. Now, promotion, as I said, is sort of the easy thing. It's the easy thing that comes to people's mind. But you also think about, like, do I standardize what I'm doing in my country already? Or do I change it? For example, if I take a Kansas City barbecue joint and I want to move it to Australia, do I want to emphasize its Kansas City origins as being something special? Or am I thinking the people in Australia already have barbecue and they're like, nah, whatever, never heard of Kansas City, we don't really care, just give me some good barbecue, right? So do you have to adjust that to the local preferences of the people there? My recommendation to you is watch the videos, right? I have a lot of resources online that explain exactly what needs to be in that plan, so check it out. I think that would be really helpful to you. One final thing to mention is that there's a discussion forum and an activity opportunity for you to not only try to develop the promotions part of your business plan, but also to use AI in the process. So it asks you to use AI as a tool, see what it comes up with, but it also asks you to critique the process. So in other words, it gives you a taste of what it's like to be somebody who's working in marketing and using AI for that purpose, but also the opportunity for you to realize how limited AI can be and the ways in which you can appropriately or not appropriately use it depending on the situation. I'm going to call upon you to use all the research you learned this week about whatever the local culture is and challenge some of what AI has to offer, right? Is your research better in some ways, or is AI doing some things more efficiently that maybe you couldn't do on your own? I'm also inviting you to collaborate with your peers. This is an opportunity for you to look at each other's promotion plans, to maybe share some visuals. Let's talk about this and help each other out through this process. Once again, I just want to remind you, if there's anything I can do to help you out, I'd be happy to do that. But otherwise, I wish you all the best this week, and I'll talk to you soon.